What up, though? It's your boy Meech, aka the Sillage Saint. Hope everyone's doing well. Time for another fragrance video, and this is going to be a unique fragrance video in that I haven't seen many content creators doing fragrance videos on this topic. Today, I'm going to talk about some fragrances that will work well for your prom night. Now, it is May 21st at the time of this recording, and we're in the midst of prom season. I've seen a variety of different photos and prom send-offs and videos and all types of things from my friends on social media from their daughters or sons or loved ones attending prom. And I thought it would be a great idea to kind of talk about some fragrances in my collection that might work for prom. Now, probably the reason you don't see a lot of content on this topic is probably because most of us that watch men's fragrance content are probably already adults. Prom has already passed us by. It's passed me by probably twice over without aging myself. But I was looking at my collection. I recently had a son that graduated from high school, and I thought, oh, this would be a good topic to discuss. What do I have in my collection that we might be able to pull off for prom? So I do have some fragrances to discuss. I have 6 of them, in fact. So let's get into it right now. Some of the best prom fragrances in my collection. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so when I was thinking about prom fragrances and thinking about the age of someone attending prom, this is usually going to be someone that's 17, 18 years old. So I was trying to look for fragrances in my collection. For the most part, they were kind of youthful, playful, things that would be mass appealing and that a young person would like. So the first fragrance that I want to discuss probably fits more in the mass appeal category than more of the youthful, playful category. A take on a very popular scent DNA. The first fragrance that we're going to talk about here is a 10 ml sample that I have of Prada Luna Rosa Carbon. And this is a fragrance that has the Dior Sauvage DNA. Of course, Dior Sauvage is one of the most popular fragrances, on the market today. Even still, it's been out for a while, but people love Dior Sauvage. People gravitate to it. And Prada Luna Rosa Carbon is Prada's take on that DNA. Now, the big difference with Prada Luna Rosa Carbon is the ambroxan is turned down quite a bit. The spices are turned down quite a bit, which in my opinion would make this a bit more appealing to a younger person. You still get some spice with a little pepper. There is still ambroxan in here. The fragrance is a bit metallic as well, but you get this soapy lavender that just makes this a clean, fresh, versatile, mass appealing scent that I think would be fantastic for a young man to wear to prom. So if you're looking for a fragrance that has that Dior Sauvage DNA but less obnoxious, a fragrance like Prada Luna Rosa Carbon would definitely do the trick. All right, so the next fragrance that we're going to discuss by definition is the only clone fragrance in this list today. I have some other fragrances that are designer fragrances but are takes on popular scent DNAs, so they aren't clones by the true definition. But this fragrance we're going to talk about is an actual clone of YSL, and that fragrance is Fakar Black by Lattafa. And this is a fragrance that definitely has elements of YSL, the EDT, and to me a little bit of the EDP. This is another blue fragrance, kind of like Prada Luna Rosa Carbon, except this is a bit fruitier. You get an apple note at the top that really stands out in this fragrance. There's some aromatics like clary sage. You have geranium, juniper berry in this fragrance as well. So this is kind of more of a fruitier take on a blue fragrance. Now, I will say the apple in this, if you live in a really hot weather state, Texas, Florida, this might not be the fragrance to go with for prom, but it might still work if prom is going to be taking place like in a controlled environment or controlled temperature environment with air conditioning and whatnot. But this is a nice fragrance. It is mass appealing. I get compliments quite a bit when I wear this fragrance. So this is no doubt one that would definitely work for that young man in your life for prom, Fakar Black by Lattafa. All right, next up I have 2 fragrances here that are takes on the Invictus or Invictus Aqua DNA. Invictus is a bubblegum sweet type of fragrance that definitely appeals to the younger generation. The first fragrance we're going to talk about here is by Abercrombie & Fitch, and it is called First Instinct Together. I think that's right. Yeah, First Instinct Together. And this is a fragrance that has elements of Invictus, Also, Invictus Aqua. This is a bubblegum sweet fragrance, little bit of spice, but for the most part, this is sweet, aromatic, fruity. It has those type of elements and definitely would be a mass appealing fragrance for a young person to wear to prom. And the next fragrance, which with a very similar DNA, is Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. This is more of a take on, I think, the Abercrombie & Fitch fragrance is Invictus Aqua 2018, and I think this one is Invictus Aqua 2016. But this, to my nose, is a bit spicier, a bit more aquatic than the Abercrombie & Fitch fragrance. Both of them have that bubblegum-like sweetness, and both of them would be mass appealing options for prom. Now, another very popular fragrance, which I do not own, that has that Invictus DNA that's going crazy on TikTok, is Rasasi Hawass. And it smells very similar to Invictus as well. That bubblegum-like sweetness. I actually put my nose on it several weeks back. Didn't buy it because I felt like it would be redundant with some of the other takes of Invictus that I already own. But that's another fragrance that has that Invictus DNA. It's going crazy on TikTok. Very popular, and one that could very well work for your prom. So any of these fragrances, like Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Together, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, Rasasi Hawass, any of those Invictus-esque DNAs would definitely work great for your prom. All right, the next fragrance on the list is probably the most mature of the 6 fragrances that we're going to discuss today. I feel like a young person could definitely pull this off if they are into fragrances. This is a fragrance that is going to have that Creed Aventus DNA. Very popular fragrance, niche fragrance, Creed Aventus, that is. This fragrance is a designer take on Creed Aventus, and that fragrance is Mont Blanc Explorer. I think this would be a fantastic scent for prom, but definitely more for a young man who is a bit more mature. It is very woody, it is citrusy, it's a bit aromatic as well. You do get a lot of citrus at the top, and then those woods and aromatics as this begins to dry down. It has a vetiver note in it as well. So again, those type of notes are a bit more mature, the woods, the vetiver, things like that. But someone who is into fragrances in that 17 to 19-year-old range and a bit more mature might like a fragrance like Mont Blanc Explorer. I think you definitely could pull this one off for prom. All right, and the last fragrance we're going to talk about is a fragrance that I probably added to my collection like a month or so ago. And it's a fragrance that I just wore actually a couple of times over the course of this weekend. And I got a few compliments wearing it. I definitely think a young person could pull it off. That fragrance is Azzaro Chrome Extreme. Many people compare this to Acqua di Gio Profondo. This is a aromatic, somewhat aquatic marine style of fragrance. There's an orange note at the top. There's sea notes. There's juniper berry in here as well. This is a very mass appealing fragrance. There is a youthfulness to it, but it also has a maturity to it, if that makes sense. This is definitely one that will get you compliments at your prom. The prom date's gonna like the way that you smell. This is a nice one, no doubt, and one that definitely could be pulled off for prom. Azzaro Chrome Extreme. Well, there you have it, guys. 6 fragrances that I think will be great options for your prom night. All 6 of these fragrances, I should add, are pretty reasonably priced. Prada Luna Rossa Carbon probably being the most expensive at $60 to $80, depending on the bottle size. The other fragrances come in at $50 or less. Some you can find in your local rack stores or on Amazon for $25 or less. So these are affordable options in addition to being fragrances that smell great. Be sure to check out my social media for more. If you have some options that you're wearing to prom or considering wearing to prom, feel free to throw those in the comment section. I love to hear about them. Please like and subscribe on whatever social media platform you're watching this on. That would be greatly appreciated. Once again, it's your boy Meech, aka the Sillage Saint. Until next time, take care. Peace.